So Keanu trained like a real stuntman with 8711.
What's up, guys? We all know Keanu Reeves is one of our favorite actors, and let's go ahead and check out his assassin training for John Wick. Let's get into it right now.
From mastering jiu-jitsu to firing tactical
we know
weapons,
he's good at weapons. We've seen the videos.
And even riding a horse sideways, Keanu Reeves trained like an assassin for John Wick.
So
Things got brutal for actors on and off camera. Some suffered broken ribs, and some even got their ear partially cut off. Here's how intense the John Wick.
We've seen his interview.
Welcome to.
We've seen his interview where he said he does all his action.
Keanu Reeves is an absolute legend when it comes to doing his own stunts. From jumping out of a Jaguar onto a speeding bus in Speed, to leaping off of a 43-story skyscraper in The Matrix, he's willing to train and do almost anything for a film. But the intense training regime for John Wick was unlike anything he'd done before. And it lasted 3 to 8 months for each film. 3 to 8
months of training.
So how far did they push it for Chapter 4? Let's break down the John Wick boot camp, starting with the martial arts training. The director, Chad Stahelski, wanted long
we know he knows a lot of different styles of
photography. So Keanu trained like a real stuntman with 8711. Obviously, this was pretty physically demanding for a man in his 50s. So to build stamina, his training got more and more intense for each movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm older, so it's harder to show off. And you have more technique, so that helps keep balancing it out. But age is winning.
Age definitely wins.
Techniques are helping me get by. The more I can do and the more confidence that Chad and the stunt team have in me,
that's crazy.
They go, okay, now let's give him some more responsibility. Oh, you can do that? Oh, cool. Okay,
look
well,
at him.
What about that?
Dude,
shoot,
3 to 8 months of training.
Keanu already knew martial arts and could get out of locks and counterattacks.
Yeah, let's see him in the octagon.
So they built on these skills and added judo and jiu-jitsu to his fighting style.
We'll see him do an exhibition match in the octagon.
For Chapter 2,
someone contact
with the
Dana
Machado brothers and learned 15 new judo and jiu-jitsu moves.
Bro, look at that, that's so cool.
And fun fact, he got so good at it that the International Judo Federation presented him with an honorary black belt.
Honorary black belt.
Keanu, I start to see his knowledge. He's already very sharp in techniques. And we start trying to improve the transitions. And like somebody come on top of him, he escape quick and go, grab the neck, boom, break.
Man, what's your favorite John Wick movie? 1, 2, or 3, or maybe even 4. Leave me know in the comments below.
In Chapter 3, Keanu trained for 6 months. And they taught him moves from other fighting styles like karate, sambo.
Yo, he deserves every dollar he makes from his movies.
His co-star Halle Berry was also put through the grind.
That's a lot of training. And they got so fierce
at one point, she even broke a few
Halle
ribs
Berry?
while training.
Let's go.
In Chapter 4, they pushed him even further by adding nunchucks to the mix.
Oh, nunchucks are hard too. Bro, those look like real nunchucks too. What if he made a mistake and hit him in the face? Bro, look at this choreograph. Yo!
Next came the crazy firearms training. John Wick's gone from using just a gun in Chapter 1 to using a combination of knives, nunchucks, and guns all at the same time in the rest of the films. But using a variety of firearms with ruthless efficiency meant he had to learn from the best. So tactical firearms training began with Aaron Cohen, who's also an Israeli special operations trained soldier. They focus on how to use a carbine with room penetration techniques.
We go to war, I'm following with Keanu Reeves.
And tactics with a cherries deep concealment holster.
Up, up, up. Reset.
That's interesting.
Keanu learned to spy rooms, do reloads, transition seamlessly from weapon to weapon.
Doing it all with the dummy weapon.
Even footwork that had a John Wick style to it.
Nice. This is sick.
Then they upped his game and sent him to train with multi-gun shooting champion
we've seen the videos.
Butler.
Well, every movie we've
that's what I was talking about right here.
So in John Wick 2, he's quad loading the shotgun underneath 4 rounds at a time like this. The old school, we can't load. Next one, he's
it almost looked like a Tesla symbol on his shirt. No, it's not.
And in the latest one, we're like, this maybe the last movie, nobody knows, but let's go with the ultimate weapon for that. So we picked this Genesis shotgun.
Look at that thing.
Or it's just complete
beauty
destruction of, And he's already knows how to load a platform like that, so he's doing it faster and better.
Keanu literally went from handling a Glock 34 to using guns that got bigger and bigger. Have a look at him in beast mode.
Look at Holly just watching him in the background. Yeah, this was a viral video on the internet right here. He's shooting them, but a lot of them were actually like center mass too.
Then came the fight choreography. The martial arts and firearm training was brought together with what they call gun fu. Fight choreography is kind of like a dance and has a flow to it. But the fighting styles of Keanu's co-stars were very different from his.
Yo, it's crazy.
For example, Ruby Rose was a boxer, so her fight choreography was adapted to that.
So much training he had to go through. That is insane.
Halle Berry's style was based on a woman of her height taking down a 6.5-foot man.
I had to learn to fight one like Keanu, and I had to learn to fight with him in very close proximity.
And y'all think
they're very much a team.
acting, some people think acting is so easy.
But it's also
they're going through so much training for months and choreographed before even starting the movie.
In Chapter 4, Rina Sawayama's fight style had her using knives and a bow and arrow in action scenes.
That's cool.
And Donnie Yen's was a mixture of Tai Chi, kickboxing, and a whole lot of others.
Dude, there's so many different styles of fighting.
8711 had to work on blending their styles together. So first, they fake fought with each other a lot to find a natural flow. And Keanu got so sharp, he was able to improvise and adapt on set if things ever changed. After this came training
That's why we
with
love Keanu
animals.
Reeves.
Keanu actually learned how to ride with stuntman and horsemaster Tad Griffith. But ordinary riding was too easy for him, so they taught him trick riding. By the end of it, he was able to hang onto the side of a horse, recover into a riding position at a high speed, and move from one side to the other quickly.
John Wick 3 was even more brutal than John Wick 2 because now you're adding horses, riding horses, hanging off, shooting underneath the horse. He came out one time with his whole flap of his hand cut open from the horn. Like he opened it up and it was just this tape on it. And he's got like quad load shotguns. There's videos out there. You see him, his whole hand is wrapped, doing all of his reloads, MPX, everything.
With a wrapped hand.
He's putting the time in. He knows he's got to
That's what I'm talking about.
No
That's
one
dedication.
like he does.
So once they got to the streets of Brooklyn,
so bro, you cut your hand.
Rode and fought
just tape
like
it
a
up.
natural.
Just tape it up.
The idea was, how can I do these tricks and be safe? So Scott developed this idea of a movie truck, some girders, and we'll pick you, and we'll do wire work.
Wire work on a horse.
And Chad will sit on the top of this thing on a perch, and he'll guide the horses, and then you'll ride in this contraption.
That's insane. Poor horse. Hopefully they take care of that horse.
He even made riding in the desert in Chapter 4 look like a walk in the park. His co-stars, on the other hand, worked with attack dogs for Chapter 3 and 4.
Bro, that is crazy.
These Belgian Malinois were smart, strong, and agile.
This is a cool,
they could
like,
climb
behind the
vertical
scenes.
walls, dive, punch you with their nose, and were raised from birth and trained specifically for the movie. But the handlers couldn't be everywhere on set, so they taught Halle Berry how to train the dogs herself. And this made them believe she was their master on set.
Or just an acting in general.
That was built, and there were 5 of them. I could command them just like the trainers could command them. So I would spend 4 days a week out there with the dogs, 2-3 hours a day, and I would just go through the drills with them just like the trainers. As the trainers were learning who they were, I was learning who they were. They're ferocious looking, and they're doing some amazing stunts, but they're also really sweet. So I get a certain amount of time to just love on them and play with them, and then I have another set of time where I work with training them.
The thing with dogs in movies is they don't act. They attack for real.
Crazy.
So they had to make sure the dogs knew exactly where to bite the stuntmen so no one would get hurt. For this, they brought an animal expert, Andrew Simpson, who worked with the wolves in Game of Thrones. The dogs were trained to target green tugs. And then they slowly familiarized the dogs with the stuntmen and action for each scene.
That's interesting. And it's green, so they can
finally
chroma key
came
it
the
out.
car chase training. Keanu isn't a stranger to high-speed bike and car chases, and while the extremely dangerous stunts were done by expert Jeremy Fry, Keanu did pick up a ton of insane driving skills from him. For the first few films, he learned maneuvers choreographed for the chase scene.
Yeah, so he did the action, but he didn't do the stunts. He had a drifting
techniques. But for Chapter 4, they upped.
You don't want to get hurt in the middle of filming anyways.
He could do 45 and 90-degree drifts, a reverse 180.
That's so cool.
And he could shoot and reload his gun at the same time. And considering how comfortable he is behind the wheel, it didn't take him long to master this either.
Yo.
If you're wondering what his bike training was in Chapter 3, we hate to break it to you, but the actual fight was choreographed and filmed with a green screen. But they did film the rest of the chase on the bridge with the stunt team. What's your favorite fight scene or chase scene in John Wick Chapter 4?
If you liked the video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. Consider subscribing so you can see more videos. If you had a great time, we'll see you on the next one. We out.